This video was supposed to be about my masterpiece, about all the accumulated knowledge that I had gathered over the years about Vcarve inlays, but instead it ended up being one of the most aggravating things I've ever done. And I almost didn't post a video, but I decided to do it because it didn't turn out horrible, but it was pretty close. So stick around and welcome to my nightmare. Since it was such an intricate inlay, I didn't want to put it on just any piece of wood, so I built a cutting board that was 22 inches square and 3.5 inches thick. Matter of fact, it'd probably qualify as a butcher block. It's pretty damn heavy. I would dare say it's probably around 40 pounds. This first cut is the pocket for the first inlay, which will be wingay, in which I call it the background, and what will give the rest of the inlay contrast. I have learned that wingay, if not dried properly, will contain a lot of oil in it, and that oil, as you see here, produces a bunch of bright spots or light spots in the wood. And it ended up being an expensive venture because I had to make 4 separate trips to the lumber yard before I finally bought a piece of wingay that when I cut into it, it was actually dark through and through. All the inlays in this board will have a 1/4 inch flat depth, except for this one. I cut it 0.3 inches. I wanted it to be a little bit deeper than the rest of them, so when I cut into that inlay, I wouldn't get down to the glue line. If you've ever cut down into the glue line, well, it drags up a bunch of old dried glue and clogs up your bit. I've mentioned this in the past. I'm not a fan of using a hammer to knock the inlay in because I'm heavy-handed and I have split the inlay before from hitting it too hard, so I just let the press do all the hard work. The cut you're seeing here is the pocket for the tiger stripes, and I'll do that out of Osage orange. And when I cut the inlay out of the blank, I dropped it on my floor, splitting it in 2 places. I had a stroke on that one, but it was such a clean break, I figured I'd try to salvage it and see if I couldn't still glue it in together. And would you believe it actually worked? I couldn't find the seam of the brakes anywhere. This is the pocket for the fins of the dragon, I guess you could call them. And I cut that inlay out of yellow heart. This cut is for the scales of the dragon, and I cut that out of Paduke. I actually made this board one time before, many years ago, and I used bloodwood for the scales, but they were so dark that they blended in with the Wingay. They didn't stand out like the rest of the colors did, and I had hoped that the Paduke would be much lighter than the bloodwood was, but as you'll see in a few minutes, once you put a finish on it, it gets pretty dark as well. This cut is a pocket for the lighter features of the tiger, the white belly, the claws, the teeth, and whatnot, and I used hard maple for that inlay. And just like the tiger, this is the cutout for the lighter features of the dragon, the teeth, the claws, the belly, the horns, and I also used hard maple for that. And this is one of the last major cuts. This is the yin yang, and hard maple would be used for that too. You can see I used part of the feature of the Wingay for the dark part of the yin yang and the hard maple for the lighter part. And after I cut the yin yang out, I thought I was done, but then I realized I overlooked one small detail on the tiger when I was cutting out the pockets that the Paduke would go into, and that was his tongue. So I made that one little last cut and cut out the small inlay to finish that up. And then to finish up, I cut a juice groove into the board. I use juice grooves sometimes I don't, but I thought it was necessary in this case to kind of frame the image. I cut this with a 1/2 inch ball nose, about a little over 1/4 inch deep. Now after making this cut is when the biggest setback occurred. I cut this the night before I left to go out of town for a week. So I didn't have time to seal the board, so I just left it in my shop until I got back. And when I got back, man, well, I found this. The board had warped and it cracks in several places in the inlays. I was so disheartened. I really thought that I was going to have to start over. I mean, it was really bad. It was everywhere. But as one last resort, I was going to try something. I didn't know if it would work or not. But I filled all those cracks with glue, just as much glue as I could press down in them. And once I had that done, I actually put it back in the press. The board was still a little warped in this video. I didn't show the warp. It was probably about 1/8 of an inch in the center off the bed of the CNC bed. So after filling the cracks with glue, I put it back in the press to press it down flat and let it sit for a couple of days. And it closed them up fairly well. It's not perfect, but the cracks don't stand out as bad as they did. At least enough where I felt it was okay to continue on. And once I decided that the cracks in the wood were passable, I didn't waste any time. I went ahead and sanded it. I start with 80 grit to get the tool marks out, and I go up to 220, and then after that I do several oilings over the course of the next few days to get it sealed up. And here are the remnants of those cracks that I tried to close up. They're not horrible, but I see them and they bug me. But all in all, it wasn't a complete disaster. I think it turned out pretty good. And then after a couple of days of letting the oil dry good, then I waxed it up good with walrus oil, cutting board wax. That stuff's pretty good. Leaves a really nice shine to it. So I guess we can call this a successful failure. It didn't turn out horrible, but it certainly didn't turn out as nice as I'd hoped it would, despite all the setbacks when I was making it, with the board warping and the inlays cracking. The biggest thing that bummed me out after the finishing was the fact that the Paduke darkened up so much. It really didn't stand out as much as I'd hoped it would, but like I said, it's not horrible. Maybe I'll end up cutting up a couple steaks on it and nobody will ever notice. In other news, I'm bumping 10,000 subscribers now, and that's all you guys, man, and I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate all the support you give, and hopefully I keep pumping out content that you guys like. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. Y'all take care.